Hi, everyone. I'm John Kenlon, publisher at DSN. Specialty pharmacy has been in the news quite a bit lately, and luckily we have Emily Pefanis, VP, Specialty Pharmacy, CVS Health, with us today. Hey, Emily.
Hey, John, thanks for having me. This is great.
Oh, of course. Thanks for doing. So specialty drugs are more sophisticated than ever, more efficacious than ever, and the specialty drug pipeline continues to grow at a very fast pace. So how has that growth changed retail pharmacy, and how does specialty pharmacy fit into CVS Health's overall healthcare strategy?
So you're right. I mean, the specialty drug pipeline is certainly growing at an extraordinary rate. And I think the good news is with the introduction of so many new medications, patients are really able to live a more comfortable and longer life. So in terms of impact on retail, I really view that as a complementary relationship. So specialty patients traditionally have very, very complex therapy regimens, and it requires them to really have a combination of both that traditional maintenance medication along with, their specialty medications. And so when I say traditional, I mean things like diabetes, heart disease, hypercholesterolemia, et cetera. So specialty patients then require, additional coordination of care across so many parts of the healthcare system. Therefore, there's incremental needs such as nursing or pharmacist consultation, which really allows us to partner with retail to ensure holistic care is delivered. So I would just say, also, while specialty pharmacy reflects a high-touch version of how CVS Health connects patients to the care they need, it also really contains the same thread of patient-first dedication that really unites all of our businesses. So if you think about the other parts of CVS, like, primary care facilities, walk-in clinics, home infusion services, and our retail pharmacies that are dispensing, as I was mentioning, traditional medications. And this is the reason that our more than 300,000 colleagues come to work each and every day.
Yeah, I mean, it's all a continuing story, isn't it, in terms of making healthcare convenience, making it accessible, making it affordable, pharmacists practicing at the top of their license and becoming more of a provider. So this is really part and parcel of that whole story.
Absolutely.
Interesting. Patient compliance. It's always been a priority no matter what the drug class, and you sort of alluded to that already. But it seems even more important when it comes to specialty drugs. They are more sophisticated. How does CVS improve compliance, and what is the pharmacist's role? It seems like compliance is especially important in this category.
Yep. So, I think it's really no secret that specialty medications require, as I mentioned before, a high touch, high frequency touch model with our patients. But I think what's really key is that we find the most convenient and personal way to interact with our patients. So as an example, a traditional way of interacting with a patient to promote adherence and compliance is simply by picking up the phone and engaging in a discussion with them to talk about things like, giving and providing critical education about their condition, or alternative therapies or complementary therapies that may be an option for them, checking in on their symptoms, and I think really understanding what challenges they may be facing at any given time. But I think the good news is with modern technology, many of those now previous interactions that were always via phone can occur digitally. So today, as an example, a patient can report an adverse drug event or seek pharmacist support really via live chat. So they can just pull it up on their app and talk to us, or use their desktop computer if they're not cell phone savvy. But I think our primary goal is really with any interaction to offer what I would call the easy button. So how do we take it to the level that allows the patient to make it easiest for them, especially when we're talking about patient engagement? So, I think it's the best way for us to connect with them is what they choose. And that could be verbally, that could be digitally, but we provide, both options. And then you asked about in terms, of the role of the pharmacist. So, and I'm a pharmacist myself, and I consider us a critical lifeline for every single patient. But I think that the pharmacist is really at the center of every patient. So, they aid in coordinating the therapy regimens with lots of parts of the healthcare system, the physician, the caregiver, the nursing team, and others. And so they're just really a critical lifeline. I think about that in my daily life. And I know I'm the lifeline a lot of times for my own family. So I just think they're very, very important in terms of being at the center.
You've already sort of touched on it, but I want to make sure that we get the whole story. So filling a blood pressure script, filling a statin, pretty simple. I remember pharmacists always saying, lick, stick, and pour. This is a little bit different. Can you walk us through that CVS patient journey and go a little deeper into the role that technology plays? You touched on it, but I think there's probably a little more.
CVS specialty patient journey is very, very different than a traditional pharmacy patient. So, the complexity of the therapies that a specialty patient has in the pharmacy role, it really requires us to have and maintain a current, what I would call comprehensive patient profile. So similar to like when you go to a doctor's office, right, and you fill out tons and tons and tons of paperwork, we actually need a lot more information when we're filling prescriptions for specialty patients. And so that profile is reviewed upon every refill, given, a couple of things. One, the criticality of the disease state, but also the constant changes that are occurring throughout a specialty patient's journey. So we actually leverage, so this kind of speaks to the technology piece now, we leverage connectivity via EHR, the electronic health record, whenever possible, so that we can stay really in lockstep with the patient's doctor. And this honestly avoids the need to be asking repetitive questions, but ensuring that we're getting accurate information at all times. So in short, we bring that information to the user, to the patient care coordinator, so that they actually know you. They know the patient, and it also eliminates really, the administrative burden of collecting information repeatedly. And then I would say there's one other second major difference from traditional pharmacy, which is the complex way in which medications are covered. So unlike traditional pharmacy, specialty patients have actually a wide array of options to help reduce their out-of-pocket costs. So aside from traditional primary pharmacy insurance, we can leverage copay card assistance programs through pharmaceutical manufacturers. We also can go to associations and, obtain grants to help reduce out-of-pocket costs. And I think another big nuance in the specialty world is that many of the medications are billed through the medical benefit rather than the pharmacy benefit. So again, gives us a wide array of options, and there is infinite number of possibilities or combinations that we can use. It's not just one of those ways. You can use several different methods.
Yeah. So again, the easy button that you were referring to a little bit earlier, make it easier for the patient and certainly easier for the pharmacists who already have so much to do.
Yep.
Oh, that's great. All right. So wanted to ask specifically about Humira, hugely popular drug, an effective treatment, and handling the Humira biosimilar has been a significant transition for everybody. How's CVS been doing it?
So I think there's two words that really come to mind when I think about the Humira biosimilar launch. And so the first is communication. The second is awareness. But I think there's a really important adjective that you have to put in front of those two words, and that's proactive. So proactive communication, proactive awareness. So as we started to prepare for the launch of the Humira biosimilars, we sat down and thought about who are all the key stakeholders. I think everyone thinks about the stakeholder only being the patient, but there's so many other stakeholders that you need to engage: the physician, the plan sponsor, the caregiver, and those are just a few examples. So then we said, okay, let's devise a plan that really enables us to reach out to these populations through different means. So snail mail, obviously being an obvious one, but if you're like me, I never check my mail, so I probably wouldn't get that message. But we have digital messages. We have YouTube videos that we can send to patients, to caregivers, to physicians, and just other tutorials. The thing that I think that was unique here is that biosimilars isn't necessarily new. And I think the launch of Humira biosimilars was really just the largest step that has impacted a very large patient base. So creating that awareness through various proactive communication pathways was really, really key. But I think in addition to setting up processes for transitioning our patients to a biosimilar, we also had to think about creating resources to help the general population really understand what exactly a biosimilar is. And at the end of the day, it's actually pretty simple. It's a quality, safe, and effective treatment option that really has no clinically meaningful difference from its reference product. And I just don't know that everyone has an understanding of what a biosimilar was. So I thought it was really important that we share what that means broadly, even if you're not a specialty patient.
I remember years ago when generics first came out, everyone kind of questioned it. Maybe they were a little doubtful or just unsure or just not up to speed, didn't have the knowledge. But everyone got through it, and now they are 90% of scripts dispensed, right? Something like that. And everyone's okay with it. So I assume that we're going to get there with biosimilars as well.
Absolutely. Totally agree. It's something new. Change is not always easy, but I think that if we can provide enough education in different, ways for people to learn, to your point, then adoption becomes a lot easier.
Yeah. Okay. So last question. We always like to take a look at the future, a little peek around the corner. So, any insights into what the future of specialty pharmacy could look like, not just on behalf of CVS Health, but just in general, anything that comes to mind?
So a couple things, as I mentioned in the beginning, the specialty drug pipeline continues to grow at really an unprecedented rate. It's incredible to see the growth year over year in this space. And I obviously do anticipate several new biosimilars coming to market aside from or in addition to Humira in the very near future, as soon as later this year and early 2025. But I also know that the rare disease and the gene therapy space is creating big and I think positive waves. So these are the first steps to bringing curative solutions to the marketplace. And it's just so awesome to see. And it's been so rewarding, honestly, to dispense these life-altering gene therapy prescriptions that we know will bring a new meaning to life for our patients. It's truly an awesome experience.
That is, it's great for everybody, isn't it? It's great for the patient because their lives, their health outcomes improve. Great for our business. Practice at the top of your license, become a more important healthcare provider, and continue just to be accessible, affordable, convenient for everybody. So
yeah.
So thank you, Emily Pefanis, VP Specialty Pharmacy at CVS Health. Thank you so much, and we would like to do this again, and hope you'll join us.
Sounds great. Appreciate the opportunity. It was great talking to you and look forward to the next time.